You're showing your dirty shed there, Justin.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Evening, morning, whatever it happens to be. Good day to everybody. Rob CP is just having a little bit of trouble with his headset, so we'll give him a few minutes if we can. And we got Sid and Jay as earworms tonight. So welcome aboard, folks. And unfortunately, Brian, the Scotsman living in Ireland, won't be on tonight because a couple of horses went through a fence or something, so he's got to fix that first. He might be in a bit later on. So we'll just have a chat for a few minutes. Sid, if you'd like to go through the chat, please, who's here, which is a bit of a break from the norm because we normally don't go through the chat.
Do that.
We get straight into it. So
I can do that, Robbo. We've got Darren Callison, we've got Ricky's Rocket, some bloke called Jay Wooden Things AU, we've got Chris the Spinning Wood Dodger. Moving on down. Tommy's Workshop's in. Hey, Tommy. The Fat Axe. I should know who that is.
Yeah, I got a funny feel I know.
Robert. Yeah, I reckon you know who that is. Michael Azzopardi, Chris Dodds in. Good, loaded up with Chris's tonight. Clive Rogerson. G'day, Clive. Paula Plummer's in. G'day, Paula. She's someone from over in Narracourt. Drops in and watches every now and then.
Oh, yeah. Welcome.
Another one of my fan club, Robbo. That's what it is. Robert Dolman's in. G'day, Robert. Keith's in. Woodworm Paul. Hey, Keith. I've been knocking up some of your Christmas ornaments. Adam's in. Adam Jackson. Paw Patrol is off and running again for Adam, so unfortunately he can't make it in tonight.
Yeah. So the first of the troublemakers is in, Woodwork Learner.
Oh, there he's just snuck in there now. Right, g'day, Paul.
Yeah.
I think it's Paul.
Got to get some of these guys to jump in and join us.
Had to rely on my memory that time.
Yeah.
You got a couple of guys that are in the background watching and partaking, but not coming on the camera. Maybe they should come on the camera. Hey, Tommy, what do you reckon, Tommy?
Especially the ones that already have YouTube channels, they've got no excuse.
Hey.
Rightio. All right. I'm going to go full screen, so I won't see. To Rob, if you can hear me, just put in the chat that you're backstage and I'll let you in. I've got to juggle screens, otherwise I can't see what's going on. Okay, first thing as usual, your bit of 45 by 45, Justin. Put it in the lathe.
So while Justin's doing that, Robbo, Woodworm Paul has inquired after how you're feeling now.
Going pretty well, actually. Still waiting on more tests as usual. I think I've financed 3 doctors' BMWs, so they're going all right.
Tommy's fishing, I think.
He might be playing with his motorhome too.
He said, Tommy is digging bait, Jay.
Ah, right.
No, Ricky, Amber's not coming in anymore. She's going to do it privately. Just just prefers to do it offline, really.
Right, I'll take it down the round, Justin. Somebody just came in, I think. Yep.
Oh,
Can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Yes,
We got you,
Landy.
Landy.
All right. So now the question is how the hell I get to you so that you can see what I'm doing. Which piece have you got on the lathe, Robbo?
45 by 45.
Okay.
Look at that.
Um,
Robocop, how you going?
G'day, Rob.
I'm stressed, Eric.
Don't get
apologies.
stressed.
Hey, what we're doing now?
Right, put your bit of 45 by 45 in
Yes.
and get it down to round, all right?
Okay.
Use roughing gouge to take it down around and then do a planing cut to smooth it out with a skew chisel.
So you got the same lathe as Justin by the looks of it, Landy? .22 watching, Robbo. You guys don't be frightened to give that like button a hit.
Thank you. What was that, Sid? Sorry.
22 watching, Robbo.
Oh, very good. Right, that'll do, Land. Just up a little bit, Landy. Lift it up a little bit. Can't see the wood. We're seeing the bed of the lathe at the moment. That's better. Okay. Rough it down around. Very good, Rob. Yes, we have a new participant tonight, Landy. Landy only lives 16 k up the road from me.
I see you got two neighbours working with you tonight, Robbo.
Yeah.
Are they one on each side, or are they both on the same side?
Are you talking about Ricky, are you?
No, Justin and Landy.
Yeah, they're on opposite sides. Right, Justin and Rob, you can mark it out at 50 mil centres, all right? So 50 mil apart on the lines.
I can't hear you, Robbo. I just need to try and fix something.
Yeah, no, get it down around, Landy. Sorry, you've disappeared again.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard her, Robbo. She's having trouble hearing you with where her unit is, so she's just trying to fix it so she can do that.
Oh, yeah. Rightio. Now, I'll just wait a second until people catch up. Start the load up, Justin. It's a hell of a lot quicker. Mark them with a pencil, Rob. Right, now while you got the pencil in your hands, you two, colour in the end ones.
Robbo,
Yep.
do you mean this one? Because not quite.
Yeah,
Same
colour
size.
colour the two end ones in.
Right, okay.
Don't have to make it heavy, just as long as you can see it. Right. Now this is a bit different than last week. Right. Make your V cuts 10 millimetres or 3/8 of an inch deep. And just guess them, don't worry about that. Holy shit.
What was the next instruction? Sorry, Rob.
What was that?
What was the next instruction, Robbo?
Landy, you're going to have to mute your mic. We're getting massive feedback through something.
So Landy was asking what's the next instruction. So
Right.
Landy, if you can hear me, just turn your mic on when you want to ask, and I'll relay if Robbo can't hear it.
Yeah, you have to lift your camera up again. Rob, did you hear that? Take these down with 10mm V cuts. 10mm deep. Right, mark that out at 50mm centres, Landy.
Got a question there for you, Robbo.
Yep.
The Fat Axe wants to know, once lockdown is finished, how can he organise to come down and get some lessons from you?
You can just give me a ring. Five 998 3614. He doesn't need the 03 in front of it because he's only over at Sunshine. Right, now with your skew chisel, Landy, put V cuts in 10mm deep. Yeah, don't make them too deep, Rob.
I'll put the number in the chat.
Okay, thanks, Justin. Yeah, fortunately, our phones aren't in lockdown yet. I saw that, Landy. You've got to use the extreme point, the long point. Don't come up the blade at all. Yeah, right on that point. It's the only part that should contact the timber. Right. I'll just wait for Landy to catch up and then we'll be right. Don't lift your handle so much, Landy. Just push it in. Yeah, like that. The handle has to come up a little bit, but not much. Yeah, now just make them a bit deeper.
Philip Clemens
Hey.
dropped in.
Hey, listen, Landy. No handcuffs are allowed in this. We're not up to that stage yet.
I'm wider or deeper Robbo. I've turned off my my speaker to make it louder because I think that's what was causing the feedback. When I try and go deeper, I'm burning, not cutting.
That's because you're not moving out to the side.
So
Just watch my screen. Just watch my screen for a minute.
Yep.
If I can find the chisel wherever I put the flaming thing. It's hiding on me.
Hi, Flick.
Good day, Felicity. Oh, I'll just grab another one for a minute. When you're cutting V-coves, you put the initial part in here first. Wait on, I'll zoom it in a bit.
Maybe
You
just
put the
go to
initial-
full screen, Robbo.
I'll come across to this one here. Right, yeah. Right. So you put your mark in there with the long point just touching it. Then you move it out to the side. And you just, I'll go back a bit now, it's too close. You just cut off to the side and let it drift in like this. No, here you can see it. So you put your mark in, then just move it to the side. And do that. If you push it in like that, yes, it's going to burn.
I thought that's what I was doing when I had that catch, and dare I say, have a nice, pretty spiral mark on it.
No, you had the catch because you weren't using the long point.
Okay, I'll try again.
It's not a spiral, Landy. It's a feature.
See, look at that, look at that. Right. Just wait a second for Landy to catch up. Right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you're turning. See the little vases here? And the foot there? So leave the end alone. And the way that they're done is they're a half bead, a cove with a bead on the end virtually. So they look like this. Jeez, I can't believe it.
Can you go full screen, please? It's just
Yes, yeah, I will.
Screen and then I can't see. Thank you.
Rightio. Okay, I'll just zoom it in a little bit. Rightio. So these three here, you're going to do a vase in them. That's why you coloured those two there, so as you leave them alone. So, half bead towards the headstock. Like so. Then a half bead off the back here. I'll just whip through them, all right. Right, get that part done first. It is a very, very tight bead at that thing. It's not quite a bead, it's more a gothic sort of a bead rather than a true bead. I can have a slurp on my cup of tea now. Well, that was a good one, Justin. Rob, you've got to make that bead a fraction bigger. Like, move it up towards about a third of the way up the section. See how it's really curled around? It is a true bead on that end. Now that one's a nice tight one, Rob. That's it. Leave that one alone. That's all right. Now do your back bead. Yeah, that's good enough. Don't worry that you went too deep there. That's why I say only 3/8 of an inch in. Justin, just lengthen that bead out a little bit. Yeah, just up here. It's got to be a half bead, all right?
So we've got Mark and Terry have dropped in.
Oh, good day, Mark. Terry. When do you start your holidays, Mark?
Why
You
don't
need to-
ask Terry
you-
when he starts his.
I don't bother asking. I just ask him when he's going to be home. Rob, the one in the centre and the one towards the tailstock need to be a little bit longer in the bead on the bigger bead. All right, on the bigger half bead. No, that side's right. Leave that alone. It's the other one. So you should have two half beads, one a very tight one and a flat section in between. Like I
Mine's
told
not
you,
looking so pretty, Rob.
yeah, you got to lengthen them out a bit in the bead at the back here. All right.
Both sides.
No, towards the heads, towards the tailstock end.
So, it'll make you seasick. So you're saying lengthen these ones? 'Cause this is
Yeah,
the tailstock.
yeah. See how that's a
That one and that one.
yeah, yep. The one where you had the catch.
Yeah. Okay.
The feature, Robbo.
It's a new catch.
So Mark said September, which is not far
Oh
off.
yeah, next month.
Now, just so you know, guys, I've got a relay from the chat for Robbo because he's got it all up on full screen and can't see the chat.
Yeah, I can't see the chat at all. So you can say whatever you like about me, but bear in mind I do play this back afterwards.
Have I messed these up? Was me picture might be squashed? It looks
You've got
squashed on the picture there. It looks a bit squashed.
Yeah, that's all right. They're looking okay, and I thought you picked that piece out because it did have a knot in it.
Hey, no, I can't even cut two knots. No, but the picture it looks squashed. They look longer
Yeah.
to me in real life.
I know mine looks squashed on the picture as well, and it's very disconcerting. It is.
Yeah.
Terry Bartlett and Pete Twisted Trees are in.
G'day, Pete, Terry. This probably brings back bad memories for them. The hours of practice. Okay, how you going there, Landy?
I find going in that direction quite difficult.
Yeah, well, everybody's got a dominant side, and it works
Is that
better
what
one way than another. They really need to be.
I'm making them,
They need to be a
I
bit.
don't feel like I'm making them.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I don't feel like I'm making them longer, just bigger holes, bigger grooves.
Yeah, no, just start your cut back a bit further and then round it over, all right?
Okay.
You must have had a longer bit of timber than everybody else, Justin.
Yeah, I've had some 300s left over from last week, so I just thought I'd use that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, why
Do an
not?
extra aid.
So Pete,
Now you got to
still
write-
does the practice, Robbo.
Yeah, so do I. I've been practicing for 40 odd years. One day I might get good at it. Just watch out you don't get a straight line, Landy. You've got to be able to twist the chisel over at the chisel actually has to twist over.
If I may,
Bloody mute,
Um,
unmute.
I swap hands and go left-handed when I'm going the opposite way, Landy. I don't know whether you can do that or not.
No, well, with the camera tonight, I definitely can't, and I think it feels a little too uncoordinated. But so you're saying I'm not twisting? Can you show me what you mean, Robbo?
Yep. I'll just change cameras. Not that one. That one. And I'll go up on the full screen. Right. So basically, if you want to make a cut there, watch the end of the chisel here. It actually rotates around like that.
Okay.
So what you're doing is trying to scrape. You're trying to trace a line with the point, and it does not work.
Okay.
So
So do that again.
Okay, it's got to come up.
How?
On
I'm
its edge.
wondering whether my tool rest is. I just dropped the tool rest because I felt like
Well-
it was too high. But
No, lift it up a little bit then. I don't alter my tool rest, but most people find it advantageous to lift it a bit.
so the tool rest is on center with the spindles.
Yeah, basically for using the skew chisel, yes.
All right.
So you're working up in the top corner of it.
I got the picture sorted out because I was on the. I remember Jason telling us about the. Jay telling us about the settings in OBS. You have to put it on the high definition one.
Sorry, what was that?
I've got my picture sorted, so they don't look squashed no more. That's more true to life.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
I was in settings from the cam.
Oh, yeah. I might have to play with mine then. All right, for you two gentlemen that are there, get your half-inch spindle gouge. I'll just go up on the full screen for a minute. Now, at the headstock end, you've got to put a cove in. So, but you want the full size of this bead here to maintain. Don't cut it down like that, all right? So it's got to be, and don't widen the cove out too much. So you put a cove in here, but it's a special sort of cove. It's not a normal cove like this. It actually has to go virtually straight down. And then twist. Instead of being rounded out in there, it goes in and then starts to curl. And it's got to be narrow here. So you come in here, round, down, and then clean it up here. So lock it with your thumb and your forefinger against the rest. Put the bevel straight in. Put it in and curl it down. That one's tough, so it's only about a half an inch wide in here. See how you go with that.
And we're doing it at the headstock end of the bead, are we?
Well, if you listen to what I'm saying, yes. Keep it as narrow as you can. You can actually make it a little bit wider, Rob, all right? Make the cove a fraction wider. That's it. Now, in order to get the shape right, you've got to make that cove as deep as what the end is. So the cove should be about 10 millimetres or 3/8 of an inch deep. I saw that, Landy.
It's the day for catches, is it not?
Yeah. Better put a mitt on, I think. Oh, Justin, I saw that one too. I hadn't heard it.
I think he was just trying to make sure Landy didn't feel special.
Well, this is true. That's it, Rob. You're going well. That's looking pretty good. Just widen the cove out a little bit at the tailstock end. Made it much easier for next cut. Don't go any deeper. Just widen it out. Don't forget to get the shape of the cove. You've got to twist the chisel when you're getting towards the bottom of it. You can widen them out a little bit, Rob. Just a fraction. That's better. Good. Now curve it. Get the curve in the bottom so you're not making it deeper and deeper and deeper. That's better. Good. How you going there, Justin? You can probably make
Coming
yours
along.
a little. Yeah, you can probably make yours a little wider too.
Okay.
There's going to be 2 minutes. I have to hang washing up outside.
Yeah, you better go and do your domestic duties or you'll be in trouble.
Exactly.
Anywhere close, Robbo?
Yeah, they just need a little bit of rent. Just take a bit more off the tailstock side and get a nice round curve in the bottom, all right?
Okay.
No, use your spindle. Oh, you're rounding out the bottoms of them, all right? I thought you were trying to cut the coves with a skew chisel for a minute.
Sorry, so you want me to use the skew on the bottom still?
No, you do your gouge to get down in here.
No, I meant on the bottom rounds on the top.
Yeah, to keep the bottom round, you need the skew chisel. But you need to widen out the cove a little bit first.
Okay.
Oh, look out, Shirley's home.
Well, you're going to tell her the disappointing news, are you, Sid?
Which bit of news was that? Oh, yeah.
That a curly whirly man isn't going to be in tonight?
I don't know whether I can. She'll probably bash me live
Yeah,
on
might.
YouTube.
Might too.
I think she's going over to her mother's first.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking, Robbo, it must be one of the 3 days during the year in UK that they can get washing out to dry for Rob to be out hanging the washing out.
Yeah, possibly. All right, sorry, folks. We'll just wait for Rob to get back. Any questions in the chat so far?
No, but I got something to say if no one's going to talk.
Yeah, go on.
All right, I'm not going to do any more lives for a little while, just so I can get my other shed sorted out, get all my computer and cameras and everything all moved over, and my normal Monday live. There'll be a special guest.
Yeah, you better tell them Monday. Oh, yeah,
Sorry?
that's 2 days away.
Yeah,
It's all right.
it'll
It's all right.
be Monday 10:30 in the morning for us Australians and
South Australian.
South Australians. Oh, come on, mate, don't be like that. And it'll be Sunday for the person that's Sunday night for the person that's coming in.
Yeah.
He's a professional turner. He's not a hobby turner. It's a he. See,
And it
I
ain't
gave that one away too. What was that, Robbo?
It ain't me.
And it isn't Robbo. That's right. It's because it's Sunday night where he's coming, where he's turning from. So yeah.
Okay. Righto, Landy, the next bit. Now, I'll let you off on this a little bit. You can use your skew if you like. What you've got to do is form a bead here now and blend this into that. But like I said, I'll let you off. You can use your gouge if you like. Okay? Geez, this camera makes it look bloody terrible. But anyway, there it is. So do that on all 3 of them. Round over the ends now so that you get that curve in them. And blend them into the cove underneath. Don't forget it's got to look like a little ball. What I'd do, Rob, is get your gouge and finish off forming your cove down in the bottom there. That's why I say you've got to have a fairly, it can be a wide cove, but not too wide. Otherwise, you can't get that edge in there. No, start right at the top of the ball, Rob. Round out the high spot. That is a better looking one. If you have a look here, that's the rounder shape. Like I say, I normally don't do them with the gouge because I find the skews quicker and easier. That's better. Basically what you're forming there is an OG. Yeah, that your cove needs to go out a little bit wider. Not deeper, just wider. I'm talking to Rob, by the way, at the moment. How you going there, Landy?
A little rough, you might say.
That's all right.
That left-handed skew bit is skewed.
They're not too bad for a first try.
You're very kind.
Now they're starting to look better, Rob. Yeah, much better. Right. We all happy, are we? What's the
I'm so
finger?
happy.
What's the fickle finger of the fickle finger of fate for, Jay?
Sid had an itch. I was just itching it for him.
Oh, right. Okay. Now, the next thing is we're going to size this to 40 millimeters. So you're going to need your parting tool. And I'll just go up onto full screen. Whoops, a bit too far, I think. Now, I'm sure that 99% of you know that these calipers, these type of calipers, like these, are made for metalworking. And these points are very, very sharp. So what you've got to do is file or sand them off so that they're rounded over on the points, like these here. Whoops. Now, if you're using vernier calipers to mark out with, they normally come with very sharp points here. So what you do is that you also round them off, like these here. So you round them off there. I do not know why. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos where people that are setting the tenon on a bowl or something use these points to put against the timber when they've got these two nice points here that are made just for the job. So you can round them over with impunity without doing any other damage and just mark your tenon sizes or whatever you want on the, or mortar size with the 2 points here. But you only use one, and it's the one on the towards you, sits on the tool rest so it doesn't spin. But that's about hands-on tutorial number 6 when we start doing bowls. So I very rarely use verniers myself for sizing here. Now, if you don't feel comfortable putting the calipers in with the lathe running, then please just switch it off and try it. I find it's much easier to do it with the lathe running because you get the exact size that you want. Now, if you're after an exact size, like this is coming down to 40 mil, always set the calipers at 41, not 40. You've got to allow a little bit of cleaning up room with your chisel and your sandpaper. So, I think everybody knows how to use a parting tool. And you just hold it there until it slips in. Now, there's some that put it down inside here and do it this way. Pull it back. I find it's easier to do it over the top like that. And I hold it with the screw over the nut here like that with my 2 fingers in the middle, because this has a habit, if you're sizing a lot of things, it unscrews. Now, if we've got calipers and we've got to use them on a lot of jobs, we actually put silicone on behind there to stop the screw from coming undone. But about every 10 measurements, we actually check that they're still where they're supposed to be. So you can put a 40 mil mark at each end. All right, go.
Robert, can I make mine less than 40 because it's already about 39?
Okay. Now, another trap, which I've seen, people pick up a narrow parting tool. This one's a 3 mil parting tool. These calipers are about 2.5 mil thick. If you pick up a thin parting tool at 1 millimetre wide and you try to fit a 3 millimetre caliper down there, guess what? It doesn't work and you chop the timber in half. So always make sure that the parting tool is wider than what the thickness of the calipers are. Okay. So size that down to that.
Comment, Robbo?
Yes, I heard that.
No worries.
Okay, Rob, just leave them at that then.
Okay.
got a
Robbo,
similar
I'm going to
problem.
have to call it a night because I'm about to lose power on my iPad. I'm down to 1%. I will go inside and plug in and see if I can find some headphones to listen to the rest.
Sorry, what's that?
I'm going to have to call it a night. My iPad is about to die.
Okay, no worries. Thanks, Landy, for coming in.
I'll work on a better setup for future.
No sweat. Rightio. See you later. You have a good night.
Guys.
See you, Landy.
Good night, Landy. Thanks for coming in, mate.
Bye.
Bye. Right, Justin.
Yeah, I'm similar situation to Rob. I've got that would be 40.
Jeez, I don't know.
I could take it down to 30 instead if we just wanted to keep it looking.
No, it's all right. You should know how to use a parting tool anyway, but rightio. Now what you're going to do here is take it down to size. Now, I always use my roughing gouge normally because I'm sizing it while I'm working. So now what you've got to be careful of when you've got grooves in it is that the parting tool or the roughing out gouge, the spindle roughing gouge, doesn't bounce. It's very easy to end up with a big hollow in the middle of it like that rather than a nice smooth surface. So just be aware of that if you're using a parting tool. Now this is going to throw you into confusion. With your skew chisel, put a half bead on the inside edge. Down like that. Sorry, I'll go full screen so you can see it. Take it back a bit. So you end up with a shape like that and that. Okay? Do that first. Gotcha, Rob. Right, that's good. No, leave it like that. That's fine. Don't forget you overcut the. That needs to go a little bit rounder, Rob, and out a little bit further toward the end.
Just a comment here, Robbo. RoboCop's turned that spindle that he's got there with all those shapes in less than an hour, and he's hung out washing in between.
Yeah. Who says males can't multitask?
Chris from Bailey Woodworks has just come in.
I
G'day,
have
Chris.
to be
How are
honest.
you?
I have to be honest, my wife helped. Actually told us to go back while she finished it. She's had back surgery, so she's not supposed to be lifting things. But you know what women are like? They like to be a hero, then blame you after.
So she helped you with the turning, are you saying, RoboCop, or the hanging
The
out?
washing, the hanging out of washing. Yeah, she won't help us with the turning. I've asked. She won't. I'll have to learn how to roll a bead and teach me, but she won't.
That's a good catch there, Rob.
Yes,
Very well done.
It's one of the few things I've mastered. These unique spirals.
Okay, we got them. Justin, that one near the headstock.
Yep.
It's towards the tailstock at least. Needs to be. They both need to be rounded over a bit more. Like pull them back up the length, and then round them over. Should look like half a ball. Yeah, back a bit further towards the end. Even more yet. Rightio, I'll go up on the full screen again. And this is the next bit. Now, a lot of people try to form this shape by doing this. They try to do it in one sweep. There's an easier way of doing it. With your gouge, get it down to size, bring it back to there, and then all you do is you just round this corner over and just make the final cut down it. Saves a lot of time, and you've still got the same shape as what you have on each end. All right, so using your gouge, do that.
Robbo, Ray Cotty's just joined.
G'day, Ray. What's your excuse? Wouldn't Heather let you out of the kitchen? Don't come too far back, Rob, or you can't get the round in it. Right, how are we going there, gentlemen? Right, that's not looking too bad, Rob, except you need to come down a bit steeper on the thing. It looks a little bit wishy-washy, yeah. No, you didn't come out far enough before you started the curl over, but that's all right.
You've been going for an hour, Robbo.
Thank you. Rightio, gentlemen. Get your 70 by 70 bit of timber, centre it up and put it into the lathe, and don't forget that it has to be exactly centred. So from last week, remember, I mark them with a marking gauge so as I get the exact centres, and then I'll just put a brad awl in there, put a little hole in there, and you don't tighten it up straight off. You've got to get it centred with the skew chisel. If you need reminding, just ask me. Now, coming down about 100 millimetres from your headstock so as you don't mark the square section up near your headstock, all right? That's where the turning's actually going to start. Remember, if you have to knock it into shape, just tighten the tailstock a little bit after you've knocked it. Don't tighten it right up or try to move it by loosening the tailstock off. It only falls back in the old hole. Well, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to do it. Going to have to move the camera. I think we're all in the same boat. The timber's longer than the camera range is. I know, I'll change cameras. Okay, keep it on the headstock end just for a minute. Rightio. From the headstock end, mark down 100 millimetres. Keep it out towards the edge a little bit. And leaving the rule there, come back to 85 and just put a little mark there. So that you end up with something like this. Now you've got to square a line across. If I can find the square. Here it is. Only put a little line across here. Because remember what I said the other week, that if you leave a big line there and you don't get it all out, as soon as you put a finish on it, it will come out. It'll just shine out. Yes, Rob, like that. If you put that line in too heavy across here, you run into trouble when you go to put finishes or anything on them. Okay. Now we get drawings and things sometimes. I hope you can see that all right.
Yep.
Now, a cross on a thing like this means that it's square section. I don't know if you can see the cross on that. I'll just get a Textacolor and put on it. When I got this drawing, this is copying a leg that was in production for a company that I used to deal with. And I modified this a bit later on. But anyway, if you see a big cross like that on a section of timber, it means that that remains square. Because as you can appreciate, a drawing just makes that look straight. So you can end up, by turning it, if you're not careful, you can turn it round like that. And I actually did that. A customer brought in a drawing like that on a chair leg. So I did. I turned it all the way like he drew it. He got very cheesed off with me. Very cheesed off. Well, he said, what actually happened was I sent a fax through. There's an old-fashioned term, fax. Sent a fax through with a drawing. And I rang them up and I said, listen, do you want me to turn this exactly as you've drawn it? Yeah. He must have been in a bad mood because he rang up and abused the hell out of me. And he said, look, he said, just turn it the way it bloody well is. That's it. So I said, okay. And they ordered 200 of them. So I put that one on with a round top on it on the top of the box. I went in and delivered them. Opened it up. I said, well, there you are, Cameron. Here's your legs. He said, what happened to the square at the top? I said, well, you didn't mark it on the drawing. I said, I thought it was going to be a new style where it was round, so I've turned them all round. He said, what, all 200 of them? I said, yep. Oh, what am I going to do with them? I said, I don't care, but you're paying for them. After that, he always answered the phone civilly. So don't pay to mess with a wood turner, I tell you. Right. So the drawing is just a photograph of that leg, basically. And the square is denoted by the cross here. And then they put all the measurements down. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. And that's why your marking board here is here. Now, what we're going to do with this is hook it over the tailstock end. We always cut our timber to the right length, exactly. But if you've got odd lengths of timber, then the only thing that's common to all of them is the ground, where they sit. So if you start measuring one from up this end, and it just throws the whole system out. So we always measure from the tailstock end generally. Just slip it over the timber there. Now, because you've got a drawing there, you can set a rule up in here if you like, and just mark them straight out like 50 millimeters on the board. Then you come up to your next measurement and do it that way. But an easier way is actually to turn this down to round first. So turn it down to round, but watch out that you don't encroach on the pommel cut here, okay? So get it down to round. And watch the speed of your lathes, just in case. Make sure that it's going slow enough, all right? Now remember, when you're coming up onto the square bit, don't go past that line or you'll be in trouble. Now just get it down to round. Do not go underneath the root diameter of the timber. Whoa, what was that? Somebody hear a bang?
Yeah, I've just got a bit of a knot there, that's all. Every time I
right.
tick the knot. It's alright, I'm watching it because it's 2 bits of timber laminated, so I'm
I know,
being
yeah.
a bit more careful. Yeah.
That's what my wife says to me. She says, you're as deaf as a post, but there'll be 200 lathes turning and you'll hear a mistake.
I was just about to comment exactly the same thing, Robbo.
Getting there.
Now this is going to be interesting because Justin's wood is over length for a job that he's doing in the house. So they're going to be, both of them are going to be turning something a fraction different. So I hope you don't get confused on the outskirts. Right, Rob, whereabouts is your 100 mil line? Just give me a look. Just give us a look for a second.
It's up there.
Yeah, right. Come back to that line with your roughing gouge.
Right, okay. I was just going to say my wood's not square. I've just bought it from B&Q and it's
Yeah, 70
mil
by
59.
That's close enough for this job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right, Justin.
Kind of hoping
Good
that'll
practice.
just turn away. Yeah.
Good practice turning into a knot anyway. Yeah, just leave that bit up there for a moment, Justin.
Yep.
Okay. Now with your pencil and the rule again. This is the way I generally do it, or, well, no, it's not. If I'm designing a new leg, I actually turn the leg and then do all the measurements, but I doodle with the chisel. So the vase here is 80 millimeters. So measure down 80 millimeters from your 100 mil line here. Just put a pencil line in. Now, you've got to come another 30 millimeters to form the cove here. So 110. Whenever you're marking things out like this, always keep it off your datum line and add the things on. Don't put your 80 in here and then move the rule down and put 30, because if you've measured wrong here, it's going to throw the rest of the measurements out all the way down. So it's just an accumulation. Now, they haven't given us a measurement on this one between the end of that cove there and the top of the foot here. So what I do is come in 50 mil from the end here and mark 50 mil in.
Sorry, Robbo, I missed that last instruction, mate. I've got 80 and then 110.
Yeah, right. Now, because they didn't give, this is where you're going to be thrown out a little bit.
Yep.
Because they didn't mark, just have a look at my screen for a minute.
Yep.
Because they didn't mark the length of this here, they didn't have to. They just marked 50 mil up from there for the foot. So that length there just falls in. So in other words, you come from your foot and measure up 50 mil inside the leg.
Okie doke.
Robbo, do I need to round me?
Yes, yeah, it's got to be rounded all the way down,
Right.
whole length. So just take that down.
So what I might do then, because I've got 170 mil to the of extra length, is I might go 170 and then add my 50 to that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I
should
won't
I
be
make the
taking-
vase longer?
No.
Hey?
No. Like I said, I'd have left the square section longer. I'd have brought it up
Okay.
from the bottom to the 430 and then worked
Right.
off the 430 long. Sorry, I didn't catch you in time to do that.
No, that's okay. What I'll do is I'll make this one the short one, because I've got that marked out here. That's 365. So I'm actually going to make that my final length right there.
Yeah, no, well, you've got to measure off the foot. You can't measure off the square. All right?
Yeah,
You
I
can't
get you.
measure. You can't measure off the headstock end. You've got to measure off the foot, off
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
base.
going to do. That's what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to make this my foot right there.
Oh, all right.
So
Okay,
I'll bring it
well,
up 50 from there.
geez, you're really going to confuse me now.
This
I need a
is
marker.
waist.
I'm marking 50 mil from the bottom.
Yeah, 50
Yep.
mil in from the foot.
Now, Justin, can you move your camera to your right slightly?
Can do, mate.
Or zoom it out, one or the other. More yet.
Yes. We can see his 50 mil line now, at least.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah, yeah. So what I've done from there back, that's all waist.
Right here.
Okay.
So this is the top thing on your cabinet.
Correct.
Right, okay. All right, we'll work with that. But you can take that square section right down to round, all right? Yeah, take it right down to round now.
All
I
the
think
way up.
that's his.
Yeah,
I think that's his. Is that his top? Where his motors would go in.
yeah. As I said, Justin has a different purpose in mind there, so I'm working on two different things. Right, now what you do is bring your pencil marks around so that you've got them on you put your storyboard at the base, at your foot end, and you mark on your storyboard where the lines line up. This is an old storyboard for a quick job I had to do the other day, so, and put a pencil line out.
Okay.
Make them a little bit longer, Rob. Yeah, just give yourself some clearance there, Justin. That's it. Good. That's better. Right. Now what you do is you get a pocket knife or a knife, Stanley knife, anything like that, and you nick these lines and cut a V in them. Like so. Now the reason that you cut a V in them is so that the lead of the pencil fits into it. When you put your pencil in like this, it slides straight down that mark, so you get a consistent mark every time you do it. Every wood turner should have a pocket knife. Hey, Sid, can you nick out and make a cup of tea, please? I'm dying of thirst. You're
No worries,
muted. I
Robbo, how
can't.
do you have it?
Just plain white, thanks.
I'm away. I'll send it down the line.
Okay.
Just plain white milk. Okay.
No tea bag.
No
Yeah,
tea bag or anything. No.
I drink milk too, don't worry. I shouldn't. Right. Now, I did say, if you had a three-cornered file, if you get your file and sit in the groove and just file it, it makes a nice even surface on it. It's not necessary, but if you're going to be using them a heap of times, it pains to make them nice and neat. Now, you can't get the same thing with a square file. It's got to be a three-cornered file because of the 120 degrees around the edges of it. Just makes it so much easier.
We've been going for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I just looked over at the clock actually. Okay, now, Rob, you're going to have to just tighten up. See where the corner of your board is hitting those flat sections. Yeah, you got to bring them back a little bit. You got to get that down to around there, so that it fits in, and you've got clearance there. All right, or shorten the board an inch. It doesn't matter. And on that point, whenever you're using a storyboard, always make sure that you got room in here so that it doesn't hit the square pommel, or the square section of the leg, because it's very unnerving when it suddenly disappears down the back like that. It generally takes half your thumb with it. So always make sure that you've got clearance here. In fact, if you watch Steve Jones sometimes when he's doing balusters that have a square section in the middle, you'll see that it's cut out around that part so they can fit it on.
You want me to round over my square bit, yeah?
Yeah, square, round it right over.
Okay.
That's it, Rob. Perfect. Geez, you have been listening, haven't you? Right. Just I'll wait for Justin to catch up.
Woodwork learners leaving.
All right. See you later, Paul. Yes, he probably has to go to work, I'd say, or something like that. I don't know. Oh, no, that only happens at... Oh, yeah, but probably be getting close to his work time, actually.
No, he's got to go to the shop.
Oh, right. Oh, I don't know about that.
Robbo.
I don't know.
Thanks, thanks, Sid.
Did you get that cup from your wife, Sid, or what?
Took
Okay.
me longer to find the right cup.
I've got a Mr. Grumpy one of those. My grandchildren gave it to me. Okay. Now, this is the scary part, but if you listen properly, it is not scary, okay? You have to put that storyboard against the rotating timber. Now, remember last time when I said you're putting things in a rotating, you always tilt them down. So it applies very much to storyboard. So always make sure you've tilted it up high at the back. Start the lathe up. Sit it hard against the thing like that. I'll just find my pencil first. Here, no, where's it gone to? The fairies are in there again. Old habits, I put it in my pocket. So, start the lathe up. Now there's your data marks. And that will be the same on every leg you do, provided you make sure that it's seated in down here. If you have it out there, you're going to run into trouble and you end up with a line out here somewhere instead of where you want it. That knot's not going to worry you too much.
Robbo, just a little point. Mark's got Gentleman Woodturner's got a premiere going live in about 25 minutes.
All right, well, you can put the link in for it if you like.
I shall do that.
And what we might do is we'll continue this on next week when I've just gone through these first bits. these last little bits here, all right? Right. Now, as I've said on a million times before, we do not use a parting tool to mark out unless we have to size this down to a specific size. Okay, we always use our skew chisel. So these marks here are 3/8 of an inch deep, about 10 millimeters deep. So you can start putting them in. No, are you using your skew chisel, are you, Justin? Oh yeah, rightio. Sorry, thought you were using a parting tool. No, it's just those two on the bead, on the cove that are 10 millimeters deep. Wait on, Justin. Just hold on. Where are you? What were
Tailing.
those two? Yeah, what was those two you put up the other end?
That's where the
Yeah.
pommel would have been.
All right, don't worry about that. Just ignore it.
Yep.
All right, rightio. Now, this is a hard cut because it's got to be kept straight. And it's the one on the pommel cut. You've got to go in 3/8 of an inch deep there too. So face the bevel at right angles to the timber. And cut it down. On the line, on your original line, not the secondary line up towards the headstock. Now it's got to go 3/8 of an inch underneath. You're trying to take too much out, Rob. Just be careful. It's easy to skip the chisel there. Now, while you've got the skew chisel in your hand, this doesn't apply to you, Justin.
Yep.
So get that down to 3/8 of an inch deep, 10 millimeters. Right. Now, Rob, what you've got to do is use your long point, and from the little line that you marked 15 mil back, draw a straight line straight from there down to the base of your V cut there. It's got to be one continuous cut, or you end up with a lot of ragged ends on it. It's the final cut that makes a difference there, Rob. So always leave yourself a little bit of space to get it right. Because as I said last week, if you don't get that smooth, it's near impossible to sand. And if it's a good shiny cut off your skew chisel, because if they're staining them, what happens is the stain goes into end grain a lot more and darkens the end grain more than the normal side grain. So you're doing them a favour by making it a little bit shiny. It doesn't absorb as much stain, so it's a more even colour. Right, you're winning there, Rob. Wow, that's looking pretty good. Yep, beautiful. Right, now get rid of the flat spots on you up here. You got to make sure that's perfectly round. So just do a planing cut, yeah, planing cut with your skew chisel. Okay, right, gentlemen, we will leave it at that because of Mark's live or premiere. We'll continue next week and finish it off.
Cool. Thanks very much for all the advice. It's been great.
Right.
Robbo. Thank you.
Anybody got any questions in the chat? Were they all
Paul,
silent?
say something
Yeah,
earlier?
no one.
I think I might
Darren's
have took that
commented
one.
that you can tell Rob has
Sorry.
been putting in the practice.
Yes, he
Thank you.
has.
Thank you, Darren. Robbo, I think I might have took this down too much.
No, that's fine. It's down to the root diameter, it's called.
Right, okay.
This is the easiest leg to copy because you're working off the root diameters for everything. It's when they
Yeah.
got 4 or 5 different sizes all the way down them that you start running into trouble.
I know exactly
that-
what you mean. Yeah,
That looks pretty good.
cool.
And as
So
I said,
what I might do, sorry.
69 by 70 is fairly standard actually, like because you get shrinkage and that while they've got it stored and everything else. Plus I must admit they're all set up on automatic machines where they're just running them through 4 headers and it only needs to be half a mil out and it
Yeah.
comes through on everything.
No worries. Alright. So between now and next weekend then, I'll do the other one, but I'll leave the square end longer, yeah, by the amount that it needs to be.
No, well, yeah, all right. Yep.
Yeah? Okay.
Well, we have to design another thing for you, otherwise it's going to look silly with a bloody half-inch foot on one end.
I get you.
We'll work on that one, all right?
All right.
Rightio, well, give you time to find Mark's premiere. Thank you very much for coming in. I hope it's been entertaining and educational as well.
Can I just say thank you to everyone in the chat for all your support? I've read the comments back when I've been watching, trying to do my homework. And, very kind people, thank you.
That's all right.
Well, it's obvious, mate. You're doing really well.
Yeah, you are.
I think
And-
everyone is, and it is
and-
stressful and it makes you tired.
Yeah. And this is the advantage of real turning. Like you can take this out and put it on a shelf and put it back in exactly the same place in 12 months. If you try that with a bowl, see what happens.
Yeah.
Okey doke. All right. I'm going to call it a night. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Robbo.
Cheers, mate. See ya.
All right.
All right. See you later.
Wait
Bye,
on,
everyone.
I've got to come off full screen. Where am I? Come on, hurry up.
I think you're in Victoria.
End broadcast. Thank you.